Yo, what up everybody? Welcome back. I'm JP and today we have another round of incredible deals for your Nintendo Switch, and we're going to keep it budget friendly so every game will be under $5 and at an all-time low. Now the format for this video is a little bit different than what I've been doing lately. The reason is it's kind of been brought to my attention that maybe it's a little too cluttered on screen, so maybe we'll find a balance in the middle. I don't really know where we'll land, but I would definitely love to hear what you all think down below. Anyway, as always, you know I appreciate you being here. If you enjoy the video, drop a like. If you have a friend that might enjoy a deal, share it around, and let's dive in. Alright, and we'll start with Badland Game of the Year Edition. Now this is one of those side-scrolling adventures that's way more than what it appears at first. Now at first glance it looks like a dreamy forest platformer, but it quickly pulls you into its weird and atmospheric world full of traps, physics-based puzzles, and strange creatures. The Switch version is packed with content, a big single-player campaign, tons of levels, plus local co-op and battle modes if you want to mess around with some friends. It's an easy pickup if you enjoy artsy indie games that give you plenty of content, and right now you can grab it for just $1.99. Next is Sword of the Vagrant. If you're into hack-and-slash action RPGs with a unique art style, this is a hidden gem for sure. You play as Vivian, a traveling mercenary, fighting through forests, castles, and war zones while unraveling her family's dark secrets. Combat is all about chaining combos together, experimenting with skills, and upgrading your gear so you can go as deep as you want into character builds. It's got a mix of fast, satisfying gameplay with enough story to kind of keep you hooked in, and it offers about 9 to 10 hours of gameplay, and right now you can get it for $1.99. Nexomon Extinction is pure nostalgia if you grew up on monster catching games. It gives you over 300 characters to tame, a massive world to explore, and a surprisingly deep story about humans and monsters at risk of being wiped out by a massive tyrant. It feels familiar but has its own personality at the same time, with dynamic difficulty that keeps battles interesting and plenty of side quests and oddball characters. If you're craving that gotta catch 'em all feeling, but with a fresh spin, this is definitely one to check out. Now the base game is $2.99, however you can get it bundled with Nexomon for just $3.74, that's the way I would go. Next up we have Doom and Destiny. Imagine 4 nerds from the real world accidentally dropped into a goofy JRPG full of parodies and in-jokes. Well, that's Doom and Destiny. It's a turn-based RPG that doesn't take itself seriously, with tons of references, crazy dialogue, and an absolutely ridiculous storyline. But underneath all of that is a surprisingly deep RPG with loads of spells, customization, and content to keep you busy. It's basically a love letter to RPGs from someone who wanted to also poke fun at the genre while still giving you a solid adventure. You're looking at about 10 to 12 hours of gameplay if not more, and right now it's just $3.59. Darkwood is survival horror for people who don't like cheap jump scares. Instead, it builds this oppressive, unsettling atmosphere as you scavenge during the day and desperately try to survive the night in your fortified hideout. The random events and procedurally generated elements keep every run feeling tense and unpredictable, and the story you uncover is genuinely creepy. It's one of those horror games that sticks with you because of how well it plays with your imagination. On top of that, you're getting nearly 20 hours of gameplay, and right now you can grab it for just $3.74, a brand new low. Next is Guilty Gear Accent Core Plus R, and if you love old school fighters, this is basically the definitive version of a classic. It's packed with modes. You got story, versus, survival, and even online with spectating. Plus you have the ability to swap between different versions of the game for an authentic retro feel. The fighting is still fast, stylish, and technical, and the soundtrack absolutely rips. It's one of those timeless fighters that proves good gameplay never really ages. And right now you can get it for just $3.74. Next is Furi, and this is a game all about the boss fights, and it does not mess around. Every encounter feels like a duel, part bullet hell, part sword fighting, and it demands patience, precision, and focus. Now each boss is unique, both in design and mechanics, so on top of it all, you're constantly learning and adapting, and the game looks great and has an amazing soundtrack that really does add a level of intensity to the gameplay. If you like skill-based action that feels incredible once it kind of clicks, this is definitely one to check out. You're getting about 5 to 7 hours of gameplay with good replay value, and right now it's just $3.99. Next up we have Lair of the Clockwork God, which is a really clever mashup, part point-and-click adventure, part indie platformer. You play as Ben and Dan, who are two total opposites, but have to team up to save the world. Ben's an old-school puzzle guy combining random junk into solutions, while Dan is out there trying to be the next big platforming hero. You're constantly switching back and forth between them, solving puzzles and unlocking upgrades to progress, and the writing is hilarious the whole way through. If you like quirky indie games with a creative twist, this is definitely a hidden gem that's worth grabbing. And right now it's just $3.99, matching an all-time low. Next is Summum Aeterna. Now here's a roguelike with some real personality. You play as the King of Darkness, basically an immortal warlord, diving into dangerous procedurally generated worlds filled with traps, enemies, and bosses. Now the neat thing here is the unique seed mechanic, where each seed creates a unique world with its own modifiers, so every run feels fresh. Now, even when you die, you keep some progression, so you're always building towards something, plus the combat is fast, flashy, and brutal, with weapons that you can customize and upgrade. If you're into roguelikes with tons of replay value, this is a great pickup, and right now, it is just $3.99. Bramble, the Mountain King, is gorgeous and terrifying at the same time. You play as a boy named Ollie on a journey to rescue his sister, wandering through these dark, fairy tale-inspired landscapes full of Nordic folklore and strange creatures. The world feels magical, but also really unsettling. One moment you're exploring a beautiful forest, and the next you're hiding from some monstrous troll or giant beast. Now, it is a shorter game, but every moment hits, with amazing atmosphere, emotional storytelling, and some really creepy boss encounters. It's definitely one for players who like story-driven adventures with a bit of a darker edge. You should get about 5 hours of gameplay, and right now it's just $4.49. Ghostblade HD is for anyone who loves classic arcade shooters. It's a bullet hell top-down shoot-'em-up with flashy HD visuals and that old-school scoring system that keeps you coming back for one more run. Now there are 5 stages, each with massive boss fights, plus 3 ships to choose from and different weapon loadouts. It's an easy game to pick up but tough to master, and the real fun comes from chasing that high score or jumping into 2-player co-op, and right now you can grab it for just $4.49, again matching an all-time low. Up next is 1989 After the War. Now this one oozes 80s arcade vibes. You're Sebastian Beck, a lone survivor in a post-apocalyptic world, crawling with mutants and criminals after a nuclear war. Now the game has you hacking through enemies with blades, blasting them with shotguns, and tossing grenades across 7 different levels, each with its own boss battle. The twist is the radiation system. The longer you're exposed, the more dangerous things get, and you have to reach checkpoints in order to stay alive. It's got that retro look to it and feels like a long-lost B-movie action game straight out of the arcade. This one just came out a couple of days ago, and right now you can grab it for $4.79. Eden Genesis is a slick cyberpunk platformer all about fast reflexes and sharp timing. You play as a young cyborg fighting to free your mind from corruption caused by her implants. The levels are neon-lit trials full of hazards, enemies, and tricky platforming sections, and the controls feel tight enough to keep up with the speed. There's also a surprisingly deep story underneath it all, exploring the classic cyberpunk questions about humanity, technology, and control. And if you're in a fast-paced challenge mixed with a thoughtful sci-fi setting, this is definitely worth taking a look. You should get about 5 to 7 hours from the pickup, and right now it's just $4.99. Alright everyone, that's going to wrap up the video. I hope you had a good time. If you found the video enjoyable or helpful, please remember to leave a like and let me know down below what games you're planning to pick up, or if you picked up something that I didn't talk about, let me know that as well. I love hearing from you all what you're playing. Thanks again for hanging out, and if this was your first time here, there's so many more videos on the channel that you can check out. Make sure to subscribe with the bell on so you don't miss notifications, and I'll catch you on the next one.